All right, Bear, let's finish this one up. Saltwater Taffy. On Saturday morning, Judy peered out the window. The rain had stopped. GMD number 5 was off to a good start. Her mood pillow grinned at her. She picked up a coil of sun yellow yarn, and soon her fingers were flying. Dad went to get paint for Judy's room, and in the time he was gone, she finger knitted 5 whole balls of yarn. Plumb perfect. Finally, Dad came home with the paint. They were all out of peanut butter and jelly, said Dad. Judy felt a twinge, like a prickle, only worse. Bad mood words like, no way, and so not fair, shot through Judy's head, but she could not be in a bad mood for 2 more days. What a pickle. She took a deep breath. That's okay, she said calmly. Peanut butter and jelly is for babies. Hey, I love peanut butter and jelly, said Stink. I rest my case, thought Judy silently into herself. Aren't you going to say, I rest my case or something, said Stink? Stink asked. Or something. I got saltwater taffy instead, said Dad. Saltwater taffy's good, said Judy. Dad snapped off the lid and Judy stirred the paint. She could hardly wait to dive in and slap some purple paint around. Saltwater taffy? Stink perked up. Did you know that some guy had a candy shop by the Atlantic Ocean like over 100 years ago? And one day there was a big storm and the ocean flooded his shop and the salt water got all over the candy. And that's how it got invented and how come it's called saltwater taffy. I did not know that, said Judy. You, little brother, are like a volcano, always spitting up interesting facts. Why are you being so nice? Asked Stink. Mom, Judy's acting weird again. Come on, you two, said Dad. Let's get this party started. Stink's painting too? Judy grumped and then she caught herself. Thanks for helping, Stinker. While we're getting ready, why don't you tell us how paint was invented? Before you could say saltwater taffy 3 times fast, Judy was dipping a roller in the paint tray while Dad taped the edges and Judy slathered purple paint on the wall. Purple, she shouted with glee. Best mood ever, Purple. Purple was on top of the spaghetti royal. Stink rolled paint on the wall. Stink, you're splattering me, said Judy. She held out her shirt. Human spine art. That's why we wore old t-shirts, said Dad, and put down cardboard on the floor. Just don't get any paint on Hedda Get Betta, my Nancy Drew books, my finger knitting, or... Look, said Stink. Mouse has 1 purple ear. You mean purple. Judy cracked herself up. She's going to have 2 purple ears, purple whiskers, and a purple tail if she doesn't watch out. Scat, cat. She shooed Mouse out of the room. Stink cracked up. You said scat. In 2 shakes of a cat's tail, Judy and Stink had covered the wall in purple. Dad stood on a ladder to get all the edges. How do you like your royal purple palace? He asked. Judy stepped back to admire their masterpiece. Rare, she said. Now we wait for this to dry. We may need a second coat, said Dad. You mean we have to do it all over again? Judy asked. Oops, bad mood words. You mean we get to do this all over again? She turned on a smile. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm going to rinse these rollers and brushes out. Judy picked up her finger knitting. Stink sat cross-legged next to her. He stared at the wall. He stared sideways. He stared upside down. Watching paint dry is snore pie, said Stink. It's so boring, said Good Mood Judy. Stink stared at the wall some more. Did you know in India they have a purple frog, also called a donut frog? I did not know that, said Judy. Did you know that purple is the color of kings and queens? I knew that. Did you know that Klingons have a purple blood in the Star Trek 6 movie? And Mace Windu is the only Jedi with a purple lightsaber? I did not know that, said Judy. Did you know nothing rhymes with purple? Yeah. Urple, flurple, snurple. Use one of those in a sentence, Stink. My name is Urple from the planet Flurple, and I like to drink a snurple. Ha ha. Now who's the alien, said Judy. Know any more fun facts, Stink asked. I'm all out. Judy scratched her head. She looped sky blue yarn over her finger and back. Purpleophobia is the fear of the color purple. Is not, said Stink. You made that up. You'll never know. Stink couldn't sit still. He danced and pranced around the room, singing into a paintbrush all about the crazy one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater. Judy pranced around with him, singing into her hairbrush, and she didn't know all the words, so she just made stuff up. Beep, beep, boo, bop, bop, walla, walla, Washington, Judy sang. That's not even in the song, said Stink. So they cracked up some more. Beep, beep, boo, bop, bop. On the last walla walla, Stink's foot got caught in the finger knitting, and he tumbled it back a step. He stumbled right smack in dab into the middle of the brand new wall of purple paint. Oh, gosh. Stink, what have you done? You have gone splat. The tail end of Judy's finger knitting was floating in the paint tray. Sorry. Stink crawled over the plucked the chain out of the paint. It'll dry. This part will just be saltwater taffy purple. Judy was seeing purple. She stared at the fresh painted wall. Her mouth hung open. Stink, that's your butt on my new wall. Just my butt print, said Stink. Judy felt a door slam coming on, but she made a promise to herself. No bad moods. She couldn't let herself slam the door so much as her pencil box. Mom and Dad came rushing upstairs. We heard a crash, said Mom. Is everything okay up here? Everything but my wall, said Judy. What happened? Asked Dad, looking at the big double smudge mark. Stink got his butt on my new wall, that's what, and he wrecked my finger knitting. Judy's eyes smarted. She forgot all about her good mood streak. We were stinking purple people eaters, said Stink. Judy too, and then I tripped on the knitting. Judy, said Mom, what did we tell you about all the finger knitting everywhere? Judy stared at her shoe through watery eyes. This is what happens when, Mom started. But it's Stink's fault. I was just trying to be in a good mood, honest. We're not saying you have to stop, Mom said. We're just saying we can't have a trail of knitting all over the place in every room of the house. Yeah, it's like longer than the Great Wall of China, said Stink. Stink, you're not helping, said Dad. This can't go on, honey. Mom's right, said Dad. But, Judy's eyes welled up. Tell you what, said Dad. Let's let the wall dry overnight, but starting tomorrow, all the yarn stays in your closet. Why is she crying? Stink asked. I'm the one with the purple butt. He wiggled his behind. He leapfrogged across the floor. I'm a purple donut frog. Ribbit! Mom and Dad couldn't help laughing. Even Judy cracked up a little. Purple donut frog butt. Oh, Stink, you're trying to make it better. Don't worry about the wall, said Dad. A second coat will cover it right up. After Mom and Dad left, Stink ran over to his room and came back with a zombie. One that Grandma Lou had knitted him. Here, said Stink. You can unwind it and use the yarn. Maybe you'll feel better if you keep finger knitting. You give up a zombie for me, said Judy. Thanks. She looped the end over her thumb. Knit, 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 knit. You're so fast, said Stink. I'm a nitwit. You could win the finger knitting Olympics. Think so? I know so. They give you a big gold trophy called the Golden Needle, and you'd be all famous and get your picture on a cereal box and everything. Mom and Dad would be all proud, and we'd live happily ever after in a house made of money. Okay, but it's finger knitting, Stink. So instead of the Golden Needle trophy, don't you mean the Golden Finger trophy? Good one, said Stink. Purple People Eater. That night, Judy had a sleepover with Mouse on the downstairs couch because her room was stinky, not as in stink but in new paint smell. She did not want Stink's butt print to haunt her in the middle of the night. Stink's room was out because Stink snored. The next morning, she stumbled up the stairs half awake. Judy followed the chain of knitting down the hall to the bathroom. The door was closed. The finger knitting chain stretched under the door. Judy knocked on the bathroom door. Hey, Stinker. Hey, what? Hey, what? Stink said, coming up right behind her. Judy jumped. Wait, you're out here? Then who? I thought you were in there. I thought you were in there. So who's in the bathroom? Stink shrugged. Mom and Dad aren't up yet. Hey, I know. Maybe a finger knitting freakomaniac broke in and stole your world record finger knitting chain. Get a clue. Judy creaked open the door. The finger knitting chain wormed its way across the floor. The end dangled smack dab in the middle of the toilet. Ew, said Judy. It's in the toilet water. P.U., said Stink, pinching his nose. With Stink's brand new toothbrush, Judy lifted up the chain of knitting and wiggled it at Stink. Wet Yeti tail, she cried. Oh, gross. No bueno. Ugh, cooties, get that thing away from me. Stink ducked and dodged wet yarn. And throw away my toothbrush. Judy chased Stink with the wet yarn into her room. That's where they found Mouse stalking, hunting her prey, a clue of finger knitting. She pounced on it, picked it up with her paw, and started to chew. Their eyes followed the knitting chain around the room. It dangled over the closet door, snaked across the bookshelves, looped around Judy's crazy cat clock, and dropped onto her desk. A clump of yarn was caught in a Venus flytrap. Give it up, Jaws, said Judy. This isn't a dead fly, you know. She eased the yarn out of the trap. I think our finger knitting freakomaniac is a feline freakomaniac, said Judy. Stink cracked up. Hold out your hands, Stink, Judy said. Take this end of the yarn. Ew, the cutie end? No way. Pretty please with the silver dollar pancakes on top. You owe me. Judy pointed to Stink's butt print on her new purple wall. No way am I touching yarn that's full of toilet cooties. Then help me find the other end of the chain downstairs, said Judy. She led the way, and Mouse bounded after them. The living room was a spider web of yarn. The couch was a nest of finger knitting. The coffee table looked like a plate of spaghetti. Yarn twisted like a tornado around the room and hung like a rainbow-colored cobwebs from the ceiling lamp. Mouse did all this? Stink asked. Tell me about it. She yarn-bombed the living room. Come on, Stink. Help me pick up all this yarn and get it up to my room before Mom and Dad wake up. Not possible. If we do it really fast, it can be like a race. So Judy and Stink started to scoop up piles of yarn. Heaps of yarn. Loads of yarn. Mountains of yarn. Stink got his feet tangled in yarn. He got his head tangled in yarn. He got his middle tangled in yarn. He even had a yarn mustache. Revenge of Yarnzilla, he croaked, pretending to be a zombie. Oh gosh, Stink. You look like a mummy, said Judy. Look, Mouse is a mummy too, said Stink, a cat mummy. Did you know that in ancient Egypt they even had hippo mummies, not just cat ones? Not now, Stinkopedia. Judy tried to unwrap the yarn from around Stink's mummy ankles. I think the yarn is winning the race, said Stink. Yarn 1, us 0. I have an idea. Judy found the other end of the finger knitting chain in the coat tree. We start with one end and wind it up into a big ball. Genius, said Stink. Judy held out the end of her fingers and wound the chain around and around until it formed a tiny ball. Soon it was the size of a golf ball. Judy kept winding while Stink fed the chain to her, untangling knots and snags and tangles as he went. Faster, Stink, faster! In no time, the yarn ball was as big as a baseball. Then it was as big as a softball. This is bigger than my jawbreaker of doom, said Stink. And by the time Mom and Dad got up, Judy and Stink had a finger knitting ball the size of a soccer ball, a basketball, a beach ball. Creative idea, said Mom. Keep it up, said Dad. Wrap and roll, said Judy. Judy and Stink followed the chain into the kitchen, up the stairs, down the hall, into the bathroom, out of the bathroom, and into Judy's room, winding and winding with every step. Yellow yarn was rolled into the ball, purple yarn, blue and red and key lime green, atomic tangerine yarn, even fuzzy wuzzy space dyed yarn was rolled into a great big ball. They wrapped and rolled until every bit of Judy's finger knitting chain went into the ginormous ball. I bet we just rolled up 10 miles of yarn, said Stink. No 20, no 50. This thing must weigh half as much as me. Wow, said Mom. Finger knitting good. Wow, said Dad. That's one big ball of yarn. Stink, I think we got a clue, said Judy, and everybody laughed. It's as big as Pluto, said Stink. It could be a dwarf planet, the Purple Urple. Let's roll Purple Urple upstairs to my room, said Judy. Judy and Stink stood back to admire their giant ball of finger knitting. Peaks of pink and glimpses of green shone through the purple top. That is one big ball of yarn. It's like the world's longest rainbow, said Judy. The fuzzy wuzzy that ate Frog Neck Lake, said Stink. I'm going to name it Purple People Eater, said Judy. You definitely should win the world record for Purple People Eater, to go with your gold medal in the finger knitting Olympics. Judy looked at Stink. Stink looked at Judy. They picked up their air guitars. Stink started dancing around. They sang One Hide, One Horn, Flying Purple People Eater song again. Beep, beep, boo, bop, beep, bop, Walla Walla, Washington. Later that night, Judy propped her elbows on her good mood pillow and eyeballed the Purple People Eater. It was purple, all right, but it was also Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. All the colors of her many moods. Judy took out a marker. Brainstorm! She turned Stink's butt print into two funny faces. One side was a bad mood face, and the other side was a good mood face. Judy knitted her brow. She just barely made it through GMD number 6, and all week long she played keep away with bad moods. Finger knitting had helped her stay in a good mood. That was something to be happy about. But tomorrow was Monday, GMD number 7. Would she make it? Eureka! She, Judy Moody, had a moontastic idea. The perfect way to celebrate Good Mood Day number 7 and to brighten up a boring old Monday. Judy Unmoody. It bumped down the stairs. It thumped across the living room, and with a whoosh and a push and a smush, the big bright ball of yarn rolled out the front door. The Purple People Eater was going to school. At last it was Good Mood Day number 7. She, Judy Moody, could not wait to get to school. She was in a mood, a good mood, and she even forgot to put hair in ponytails or match her clothes or put on her lip gloss or finish her homework. Judy and Stink rolled the giant ball of finger knitting down the sidewalk, over the tree root bumps, past the super mailman Jack Frost, and around the corner until the big ball of yarn got away from them. Ah! Runaway Purple People Eater, yelled Judy, and they ran after it. Oh no. Runaway yarn. Ah! Stop that ball. Just then it hit a stop sign. Phew, that was a close one, said Judy. The bus doors opened. Oomph! Judy lugged the giant ball up the steps of the bus. Kids oohed and awed, but Judy's friends were not on the bus. Who's your friend? Asked the bus driver. The Purple People Eater, said Judy. It's for Mr. Todd's class. I'm going to surprise my teacher. I bet he'll be surprised, all right, said the driver. When Judy got to school, she gave the Purple People Eater an extra big push through the front doors. Whee! It rolled across the front lobby. A kindergartner jumped out of the way. It started down the hall, and the big ball was stopped by a foot. Not a big foot, a grown-up foot in a low-heeled, sensible shoe. The principal. What on earth? Said Miss Tuxedo. She looked up and saw Judy. Judy Moody, I might have known, she teased. What is it this time? A planet, an art project, a new game for phys ed. I'm going to surprise Mr. Todd, said Judy. It's for math class. She told the principal all about finger knitting and her moods and their measure up, unit in math. I don't think this is going to fit in your locker or your desk, do you? No way, said Judy. Tell you what, let's roll it into my office and we'll hide it there until you're ready. What time is math class? 1:45, said Judy. 1:45 it is. It'll be our secret. Rare, said Judy. Thanks. Judy practically skipped down the hall to class humming the Purple People Eater song, and she spotted her friends in the huddle outside of Rocky's locker. She rushed up to them. Guys, why weren't you on the bus today? Frank's eyes got big, and Amy took a step back. Jessica pointed to the sign where they were making for Rocky's locker. Alien free zone, said Rocky. She held up 2 fingers in the air for joke. I come in peace. Her friends just stared at her. You guys, I'm not an alien, okay? Yes, I might like green, and yes, I've been known to eat a Mars bar and watch E.T., but I'm still me. Honest. Cross my heart and hope to spy. Judy turned and headed to class. Pencils and erasers and rulers went flying out of her backpack, but she did not care. She did not stop to pick them up. All morning, Judy tried not to let a bad mood ruin GMD number 7. If only it were time for math class. She watched the clock. Had it gone backward? 9 more minutes of subject-verb agreement and counting. Finally, the loudspeaker crackled. Judy Moody, to the principal's office. Judy Moody, please come to the front office. Getting called to the front office meant one thing, and one thing only. T is for Trouble. And that was one word that did not agree with this subject, Judy. Luckily, Judy wasn't in trouble today, but Class 3T did not know that. They stared and glared at her like she had just been landed from outer space. Mr. Todd nodded. Judy got up out of her seat, trying to look unguilty. When she got to the office, Miss Tuxedo looked up and down the hall like a super spy. "The coast is cleared," she whispered. "Ready?" "Ready, Freddie," said Judy. The principal pointed to the purple people eater. "Let's roll on down to math class and measure up." Miss Tuxedo and Judy rolled as the ball gently as they could down the hall. They stopped outside Class 3T. 1, 2, 3, and they both gave a push. The purple people eater zoomed through the doorway into Class 3T, rolling smack dab into Mr. Todd's desk. "Hack!" Mr. Todd jumped back. "Surprise!" Judy shouted. "What have we here?" asked her teacher. "The world's biggest Super Bowl?" "Judy Moody brought something to liven up the math class," Miss Tuxedo explained. "I offered to keep it for her until then, so it would be a surprise." Mr. Todd pretended to grunt and groan as he helped Judy lift it up onto the desk. "Ooh, ooh, ah," everybody exclaimed. "It's like a planet," said Rocky. "Planet Moody," said Frank. Judy tilted it to the left and the right, and she rolled it back and forth for the class to see. The gigantic ball of finger knitting dazzled with all the colors of the rainbow. "Judy," asked Mr. Todd, "do you want to tell us about this?" "This is my finger knitting chain," said Judy. "You knitted the entire thing?" Jessica asked. "Whoa, weird, crazy, awesome." "Okay, so yes, it all started with Backwards Day. I was in a good mood all day. It was way super fun, and Mr. Todd and Miss Tuxedo and everybody thought it was great, right? So I decided then there to give myself the ultimate test. I would try to be in a good mood for one whole week." "That would be a challenge for any of us," said Mr. Todd. Miss Tuxedo nodded. Mr. Todd pretended I had to do something to help me get through the week, or I'd go cuckoo for coconuts. So I started finger knitting like crazy, and then I realized it helped take my mind off my bad moods. "Good for you," said Mr. Todd. "Whoa, you must have knitted your fingers off," said Frank. "A skiing a day keeps the bad moods away," Judy joked. "That's a new one to me," Miss Tuxedo laughed. "There's lots of purple in here because it's my favorite color, so I call it Purple People Eater," said Judy. "But there's also sky blue and grass green and fuzzy gold and tomato red and periwinkle. And I guess you could say it's kind of like a giant mood ring. The colors are all my different moods." "Well, class, we all have lots of moods, but as your teacher, I do appreciate bringing good moods to our classroom." "How did you ever get it to be so long?" Jessica asked. "I just kept adding colors, and it got longer and longer and longer, and pretty soon it started to eat up the whole house, and my mom and dad weren't too happy, so I rolled this chain into a big ball." "Class," said Mr. Todd, "anybody want to take a guess about how long it is?" "I bet it's as long as a Chesapeake Bay Bridge," said Hunter. "That's almost 20 miles long," said Rocky. "I bet it could go all the way across the United States," said Frank. That's 3,000 miles, said Jessica. The classroom buzzed with excitement. "I bet it could stretch from here to the moon," said Hannah. "I think we're getting a little carried away here," said Mr. Todd. Then he went over and whispered something in Miss Tuxedo's ear. She nodded. "Class 3T," she said, we're taking math class outside. Grab your rulers and math journals and follow Miss Tuxedo, and I'll meet you out front." Class 3T waited with Miss Tuxedo on the sidewalk in front of the school. Mr. Todd drove up his Mini. "Where are we going?" some kids asked. "Field trip." "No way we're all going to fit in there," said Rocky. Mr. Todd hopped out. "We're staying right here," he said. "Let's start by using Judy's chain to figure out one car length." In no time, he had Class 3 unwinding Judy's finger knitting chain. They measured and multiplied and made notes. "Mr. Todd," said Judy, "can we yarn bomb your Mini?" "Excuse me," said Mr. Todd. "Yeah, yarn bomb," said Miss Tuxedo. "It's a real thing," said Judy. "You wrap something like a tree or a car, a flagpole, in knitting. It's way cool, and it's art." "I see," said Miss Tuxedo. Mr. Todd studied his car. He studied the big ball of yarn. "Here's an idea. How about if we wrap the chain around the car and estimate how many times it might go around?" "Yippee!" yelled the third graders. Around and around they went, wrapping Mr. Todd's car in colors of the rainbow. They ran around 1 time, 5 times, 10 times, 100, singing the one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater song the whole time. Miss Tuxedo knew the words to the song Judy had never heard. They wrapped the yarn around Mr. Todd's car 151 and a half times until the car was a crazy quilt of colors. The kids in Class 3T were math magicians. They measured the chain once around Mr. Todd's car, 35 feet. They multiplied that by the number of times it went around the car. They figured out that Judy's finger knitting chain was 5,302 and a half feet long, as in 1 mile long, as in 63,630 inches, to be exact, as in 2,651 steps, as in 20,150 licks. Judy stood back to admire the work of art. One thing was for sure and absolutely positive: Judy's moods brought color to the world. Greens for energetic moods, yellows for sunshine, stay away from Antarctica moods, and blues for calm and purples for blue for calm moods and purples for royal on top of spaghetti moods. By the time they had finished, Judy's hair was wild and woolly. She did not look like Jessica same Finch. She looked like a human yarn bomb, covered in flecks of fuzzy yarn from head to toe. But she sure felt a lot smarter than she had a week ago. Not just math smarts, mood smarts. If ever Judy felt a world record bad mood coming on, she knew just what to do. She, Judy Moody, could finger knit away the blues. "This is a work of art," said Miss Tuxedo, snapping a picture of Class 3 with their creation. "Miss Tuxedo," said Judy, "you know how we can have a class picture do-over? Do you think I could get mine taken with the Purple People leader?" "I don't see why not." She winked at Judy. "Class 3T, she said. "I have to say this is the most creative math I've seen in all my years as principal of Virginia Dare School." "Let's give ourselves a POTB," Mr. Todd told the class. Mr. Todd said. Class 3T gave themselves a big pat on the back. Amy and Amy's class names outside to have a look. They oohed and they awed. "Only Judy Moody could finger knit a chain of yarn a mile long," said Rocky. "That's 16 whole football fields." "Only Judy Moody could make math this fun," said Frank. And only Judy Moody agreed Amy. Jessica Finch nodded. Everybody whooped and clapped and woo-hooed for Judy. She sat down on the curb. It sure felt good to be the regular all-moods Judy again. Her friends huddled around her. "Sorry, we thought you were an alien," said Frank. "I didn't think she was an alien," said Jessica Finch. "Did too," said Frank and Amy. "Not so fast," said Rocky. "Are we 100% sure she's not an alien?" Rocky whispered to the others and then turned to Judy. "Name one thing Judy Moody likes to collect," he said to her. "ABC gum," said Judy. "Too easy," said Amy. "When is Judy's birthday?" "April 1st, April Fool's Day." "Who is the President of the United States?" asked Frank. How's knowing that going to prove that I'm the real Judy?" asked Judy. "What was the wackiest, best Judy Moody idea ever?" Rocky said. "Making the Purple People leader?" Judy said. "Let's vote," said Rocky. "Who thinks she's the real Judy Moody?" 4 hands shot up in the air. "Would the real Judy Moody please stand up?" The not-so-moody Judy stood up. She stood next to Class 3T's work of math art. Her face was a mile of smile. She was happy as Larry, happy as a hermit crab, happy as a clam, and an exclamation point. One by one, Frank handed her the stuff she had dropped in the hall earlier that morning. The yardstick, a bubblegum box, her woman of science ruler, 3 guinea pig erasers, and 1 grouchy pencil. "Welcome back," said Frank. "Beep, beep, boo, bop, bop, Walla Walla, Washington." The end. We made it. Love you, Bear.